And what is up, everyone? I am Joe DeHoyos. I am host of Beyond the Woodline. Real quick before we get started, I always have to talk about me because I'm really important, right? No, I'm not. But I have to let you guys know what's going on. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I am part of the JRG, which is the Jevning Research Group. We're a Bigfoot organization. It's headed up and founded by William Jevning. If you guys are interested, you guys can join. You guys can become members of the group. Just shoot me an email, beyond.woodline@gmail.com. We've got teams all over the country. We're in New York State, Maine, Florida, Ohio, Louisiana, California, Oregon, uh, Oklahoma. I think I said Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, and of course here in Texas where I'm at. You can start your own team. You can join a team. It doesn't matter. If you're in a state we don't have a team, start your own team. And if you don't necessarily want to go out and start your own team, but you want to get involved, um, just let us know. We can vet you. We know a bunch of other people and uh, other teams. We certainly will network with a lot of people. Um, yeah, and a couple of shout outs real quick too. Um, Steffi's Creations, not this Steffi that I have on, another Steffi. She makes REM pods and spirit boxes, and she's on Etsy. She doesn't pay me. I'm not. She doesn't sponsor me. I'm not getting any kickbacks from her. She's made some really cool REM pods for me. This little pyramid one, and of course the typical one, right? And she actually sent me the spirit box kit, all the components. Also, I just got to put the box together so you can configure it any way you want to. You go to Steffi's Creations on Etsy. She'll type in Woodline. You'll get a 15% discount. Like I said, I'm not getting any kickbacks. She's not sponsoring me. She's not giving me any money. This is because she's extremely cool with me. Um, and if you guys also are just like 3D printing, go check out my buddy Walter at Layered Legends. Again, he's not paying me. He's not a sponsor. But he makes some really cool stuff. So if you guys are interested in 3D projects, look him up. He's Walter Enoch on Facebook, and his Etsy is Layered Legends. So with all that being said, um, what is up, Mr. Drew? Thanks for tuning in. You guys go follow Drew Banky too, man. He is one of the coolest people you'll ever meet and ever get to talk to. He's super cool. I could do a whole show on him by himself. But anyway, go check him out. You guys will like him. So either way, I know you guys don't tune in to hear me ramble all night. Um, I have with me Haunt This Investigations with Steffi and Mike. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having us on, Joe. We're excited to be here.
I'm doing great. Love it. Excited.
Yeah. We had a little technical issues there, but
Oh,
we
no, yes, we
got it
did.
straight. We got it straight. We got it at just the time, right?
Yes, in the nick of time, literally.
Steffi, are you an overthinker?
I definitely am. I actually I think about putting that on my resume tag.
The reason why I say that, because you sent me the email or you sent me a text, hey, I sent you some stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. Man, I get home, I open my email, I got 32 files in 32 files, right? And I'm trying to go through them and listen.
You had more, trust me.
Oh yes, this was a good day for her, I guess.
I think it's better to be over prepared than under prepared, and I do overthink things. And my thinking sometimes goes in several directions. So I'm trying to cover all my bases, but I'm trying to cram basically about a day's worth of show into an hour.
Right. Yeah.
But it's some good stuff. So
yeah. And you guys, all the listeners, go check her out or go check out the team on TikTok. Man, they got some great stuff there, some great evidence. And that was one of the things that I was actually going through your stuff today. And man, you guys got some great stuff. You really do. But before we get to all that, what got you guys started into the paranormal? And Steffi, if you want to go first.
Sure. Yes. So I never had any experiences as a child. I know I hear that a lot from a lot of people that do the investigating or form teams. So basically I was raised Catholic, and not knocking any religion, but when I got older, and I had my daughter, I have a beautiful 10-year-old, about to be 11 going on 16, year-old daughter. And I would just start to have this, like something was missing. I was missing I would say it was that feeling of peace, and that it gives you, like, with being able to be comfortable thinking about what happens, after we're not here anymore in our physical bodies. I would lay awake at night again with the overthinking, and it would eat away at me. But I never watched the ghost shows or any of that stuff. I mean, it definitely was going on way before I started doing this. But I was listening to true crime. I was a big true crime junkie, you could say, which I still love true crime. But Stephanie Harlow, and like, to piggyback off what you said, I'm not sponsored, but she's my favorite true crime YouTuber. She did an episode or a couple where she went to the Hinsdale house and spoke about that. And I looked it up. I did some Googling and I was like, wow, you can go here. You can book this. We can do this. Like, it's something you can do. So that was what really sparked it for me. The need to I heard other people having experiences and I'm like, well, that's great. But I'm also like a need to see it or experience it to believe it kind of person myself. And I mean, at that point, I didn't go right and jump right in. I did some research, and again, not to knock them, but I'm not talking about like network television research. I went on some social media, like YouTube, looked at some of that. I did some, research on the devices. I'm very, along with the overthinking, I like to plan. I like to know, which I encourage everybody to know. If you're going to go do something, you got to definitely know the ins and outs, how to use things, what's out there, what everybody's doing. So I went and I did my first investigation there by myself. But full disclosure, I did bring my ex with me, and this is not why he is my ex, but he was not into this whatsoever. I got your basic starter kit, I guess you could say. I didn't have the SB7. I had the Spirit Box, which is, if anyone doesn't know, it's a radio, basically, that sweeps through stations at a rapid pace, and is supposed to, be able to pick up voices from spirits through the sweeps. And so I had that. I had like a K2 meter, like your old school, click the button, K2 meter, one video camera, and then I think like something else, like a motion light, like for your like hallway. And then I went there, and I'm in the basement in the root cellar. This is not a basement. This is a root cellar, in the dark, talking what I thought was talking to myself. Because honestly, I didn't know. I didn't really think I was going to find anything. I didn't not believe in, the paranormal, but I wasn't confident that I was going to experience anything or find anything. I was hoping. And then, so I go upstairs and he's standing in the driveway because a dish flew off the stove in the kitchen at him when he was sitting at the table. And he stood there for 2.5 hours, refused to go back in the house. I told him to leave his negative attitude at home because he got there and he was like, what is this? I'm not staying here. And I was like, well, this is not the, 5-star resort. I showed you where we were going. So apparently he upset somebody there. But then I was upset myself because I felt like I would like to have that dish thrown at me, not for the same reasons. But so I ended up not even staying the night because he wouldn't stay the night, refused to talk about it afterward too, would not talk about the whole experience. And then once I got home though, and went through, what I had in the audio and nothing in the video. I wish I would have got that on video. But I did have some stuff on the audio. I also, Dan, the owner, he is fantastic. He is one of the most respectable and one of the kindest and most genuine people that I've met in this field. As he's an investigator and owner of that location. He let me come back the next day and do the outside because I had to cut my trip short. So between both of those visits and the evidence, the findings I had there, it opened up a rabbit hole with many other intricate levels that I went face first down into. And that's basically how H.T.I started. And then at that point, I'm like, I can't do this alone. Mikey and myself have been best friends for, oh my gosh, 15 years. Our daughters are great friends. We used to get together and watch. We wouldn't watch the shows for the paranormal aspect. We liked like Eastern State Pen, or we would go. We have this road in Clarence called Delaware Road. We would like take our daughters and go down there to like try to spook them out, not think anything's going to happen. So I'm like, like you'll love this. And that's basically, it was us. We started before we brought our other team members on. But before we talk about them, like, you want to talk about, what got you interested in the paranormal?
Mine's really simple. It goes back to being, I'll be 5 minutes here.
It's real simple.
Basically, as a kid, I had some experiences at a house that I was growing up in. And I believed, but I always doubted. You're a skeptic because as a kid, did you really see that happen? Did you really hear that? Or did you watch too much Friday the 13th or something and now you're spooked, right? But when Stephanie was talking, we'd watch the ghost stuff and, just kind of talk about it. But I think really what I wanted was to find proof. Like
it has to be tangible,
it as like it happened to me, and I controlled the situation around what was going on, so there was no doubt that it really happened. So to me, I want more of proof that it's going on, so I can talk to people and say, yeah, it's really happening, and this is true. This is what we found out, and then it just gets deeper from there as we do more investigations. You start asking 100 more questions because you get some answers. But those answers lead to more questions.
Oh, yeah.
So like when we brought on other members to this team, it's amazing how many people say they didn't believe and they're skeptic. And the minute they go on an investigation, they want in. We're going. We're going to find out.
That's how we got. That's how we got most of Charity, who was supposed to be here tonight, and unfortunately, hi Charity, shout out if you're watching. All of H.T.I better be watching, by the way. Hi Ramon, you guys better be on. Comments in the comments if you're on, or else you're going to be in trouble. Charity is my female best friend, and we've been best friends for quite a while. And she's always been there for to be cliche about it, ride or die. So I'm like, hey, you want to do this? She's like, sure. But she got the longer we were doing this, the more I saw her get serious. I saw her get so focused with it. She's going to school now for her master's in teaching art. And she's putting this on her resume. And I was like, you go, girl. So she's committed, not in an asylum, luckily, yet. And then Julie is actually work with Julie. Not going to shout out to my place of employment at this time. But I just invited her to just come along and check it out because she was interested. And she never left. So, I mean, that must say something. She happened to go to one of our most pivotal at the time investigations, and I'm like, well, go figure. I invite you along, and something happens that never happened before. That's great. And then Ramon is fantastic as well. He's Julie's best friend, and she asked if he could come along once. And I didn't really have a number, but I figured 5 people it works for us. It's good. We have many different combinations when we go to investigations. Some people can't go. Not to brag, but I've been every single one. But whoever I can drag along with me to them, or I do my own solo adventures. Like everyone's like, "What are you doing on a Saturday?" I'm like, "I'm sitting in a cemetery. What are you doing?" But Ramon is our team. He gets to quote Ramon, he gets shooketh. And I love that. And he has to bring. He says he's got his clean ghost hunting pants with him, and I tell him to bring extra pairs. He's I don't want to call him like a scaredy cat or anything, but. They're also Julie and Ramon are newer, so they get a little bit more, startled with some things, but it's super enjoyable. And I think they're so funny, their personalities when we all get together, especially, but I think that really helps ramp things up because, it really, we definitely, there's no definites in this, there's no experts, but the way we conduct our investigations and our journey in this, we look for repeatability. We look for things that work, and we form our own, ideals, and our own, what's the word I'm looking for?
Our own,
not opinions, but our own, for what we believe is happening here and what's working and what is actually going on. Our own, the word will come to me, but that's, so then there was 5 and that's H.T.I or Haunted Investigations. We like to shorten it because it's a mouthful, but it's wonderful. And we're going through your strong and, not stopping until I think I'll be doing this in the afterlife as well.
Until you're a ghost, right?
Yeah, because honestly, I mean, well, we might get into it, but some things I've found with some of the spirits that I've communicated with and we do on a regular basis, I might actually have to try to figure things out from, that standpoint as well, because it's not as black and white as you would think. They know everything, like what happens, what there is, where you go. We seem to come in contact with predominantly, or as we know, mostly earthbound is what we call them, not to go all ghost whisperer on it, but and it just so happens that what we've heard from these spirits is they don't really know what else is out there either, because they're in this. So I'm like, well, now if I don't know what happens when you cross over, for lack of a better term, I might have to form a team on the other side as well to figure that out.
Right.
So this is more than a lifelong thing for us.
So you talked about getting startled. And I want to hear Mike. Mike, have you ever been startled?
And I've been startled.
Yeah. Can you sit close to the mic?
Can you hear me? Is that better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, getting startled. I mean, I guess there's different definitions of it. I think I'm more surprised.
Okay.
If you walk into something, there's going to be something that's going to catch your eye, or hear someone whisper in your ear and no one's around you, or a touch, a grab. So it does startle you. But I've never been to the point where I've been like scared. The funniest thing is, I think you get more startled and you get a little more scared after you see some of the pictures that we capture, or some of the EVPs that we hear after we do the investigation. We go back and listen.
Yes.
We're like, wow, that happened. That was right near us.
You throw your headphones off your head like I did.
I think startled. Yeah, I mean, there's some people like Ramon. He gets startled all the time.
He gets scared.
But we love it.
We get scared, but we love him
because he's so sensitive to it.
He yells at me. He's like, "Stop! You're scaring me."
He's in heat though. He's very tuned in. And I think sometimes he feels it more. Like, I think there's some people that can like feel more of the what's the surroundings, what's going on.
More sensitive to it. Yeah.
So I mean, startled, yes, but not. I mean, surprised, yes, but not super startled, because I know every time we go, something's gonna happen.
I mean, I get startled. I'm not gonna lie. And Ramon, I think it also depends on the reason why you're doing this, because if you're into our individual experiences, our individual reasons, and our individual journeys, they all come together to create this team. And I love the diversity we have with those aspects, and it makes for such a great group when we're all together. But we also have our individual and personal reasons and what we're looking for and ideals. And I think that also helps kind of shape how you're going to respond, because if I'm looking for peace, I'm excited. I'm like, yes, I joke around. I'm like, does anybody want to light up that cat ball, or pull on my hair, or push me down the stairs? Go for it. Luckily I haven't been pushed. I'm like, minor injuries only. But when Ramon's like, no, not happening. Because I'm like, this is exciting to me. Like, there's many different things it brings out of me, but it's exciting. I want that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. When other people, they love to experience and hear and have the evidence and experiences and balls light up and all that stuff, which is also great, but they don't want to, they don't want anyone like slapping them across the face, or, or walking by them and like waving, for me, I would be like, please do. So I think that helps shape it. But Mike brought up a great point with being startled and scared, because he may not get startled, but as much as I want all this, I have you've probably seen some of them, TikToks and on my YouTube episodes of me being startled the entire time. And I mean, I can say that I can walk up my basement stairs without running now, like something's chasing me, like we all used to do. I can actually sit and turn the lights off in my basement and casually walk there and be okay with it, as opposed to before I did this. Where I would dart up the basement stairs like a lunatic, thinking somebody's going to grab your ankles, so it's definitely helps with overcoming, certain fears. But I will never stop being startled when somebody talks right into my ear that isn't, visually in front of me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Real quick. I just want to say hi to Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
She's one of our long listeners. I hope you're doing better. She's been kind of banged up a little bit, so I hope you're doing good.
Positive vibes to you, Sandra. Feel better.
I wanted to ask you guys. You talked about like getting slapped. Nobody wants to get slapped in the face. But have you guys ever been touched or poked or prodded or anything?
Well, I've asked for all three.
I've actually so one.
For all three.
I'll joke around. I'll be like, anybody want to pull my hair and choke me?
I did have
I like to make it funny.
I did have a mark. We were
we were at Wildwood. Wildwood.
And I felt something, and I'm like, I just ignored it. But it's getting hot. And I pulled down my collar, and I had stuff to look at it, and there was 2 little marks. On my neck. Now
it grew. It
though. Just kept getting redder and redder as she was watching it, and and literally did nothing. So that was the one that I had.
And the thing about that too is we were practically baby investigators at that time, and Mike didn't want to tell the rest of the group. We did at one point, so we're not revealing any trade secrets here, but because he wasn't sure, and also we didn't want to make anyone nervous about it. But I took pictures with the SLR and just cataloged it. But a lot of the things, especially that happened in the beginning, because we were very skeptic with our approach. We look for every other reason besides paranormal before we jump to paranormal. Even at a certain point, we had to kind of check ourselves and be like, well, we can't be too skeptic because as much as, because we're infamous for, I always say no myself, seeing something out of the corner of my eye. If I didn't see it full on or no one else saw that thing out of the corner of my eye, I didn't see anything. I discount it, So we, and it did go away. But we did think of all the other reasons that could have been there. And, so we couldn't definitively say if it was or not. But I mean, we're not going to discount it,
I mean, and we've had other people say they've been they felt something. Now, I don't know, sometimes
at Greystone, the last time I was there,
sometimes when you're there, you have clothes on. You don't know if it was your clothes touching you because you have a heightened awareness. So you really have to think about what happened when you feel that.
Well, I'm waiting for the burning sensation. I'm waiting for the giant claw marks down the back. I'm always making sure I'm rolling up sleeves if it's cold out. I'm like, here's some skin. But I was at Greystone. We were at Greystone, well, a lot. We love Greystone Manor in Gasport, New York. And I was setting up, it was just me and you, right?
Yep.
I was setting up cameras in the children's room is what they call it. But this house is, it used to, there's prominent families that live there, and they have a lot of history, but the Root family was there, and they had servants' quarters. So this children's room was part of that servants' quarters, and it's one of my favorite rooms. It's definitely very active. So I set up a GoPro in there, I believe, or the Phasm cam with the Phasm light, and I came back in to take some. I was walking through with the GoPro, not the Phasm cam, just take pictures, some full spectrum pictures. And I walked through and I walked out and I was like, oh, spiderweb. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I just walked this exact path 5 minutes ago, set up a camera. There was just guests here last night. Unless these are some expert builders or and this place is clean. It's a Victorian mansion, but I mean, it's clean. So, and then I walked, I saw him backpedal, and I walked in there and then I asked if anybody was touching my arm, and then I felt it on my face, I believe, at that point. And I'm looking everywhere first, I'm going like this. I'm looking everywhere for a cobweb or a spider web, and then I'm hearing responses. I'm recording as well while I'm doing this, but that I believe it was what I guess I did touch your arm or something like that. And then it almost felt like a tingling sensation. You know what I described it as when we were there? Every hair on my arm stood up one at a time. And that was, to me, it freaked me out. Not to get startled, but I was like, this is really something. I don't think we all know what it feels like to have the hair stand up, but one at a time. I was like, this is interesting. So I ran right to Mike and Heather, who's the owner, Heather Madison. She's fantastic as well, to let them know, because I was like, this is different. And that when it's different, even if it's not a burning, it's not a scratching, it's not a poking or a push, but it was something that I definitely could not explain. We have heard of the spider web, scenario that it feels like you're walking in, but so many places we're at, there's full cobwebs and spider webs. So we're like, but then, luckily my brain was working really well at that moment, where I was like, wait, there's no way that this, carpeted children's room, this path, a little narrow path that I walked, just, all of a sudden had this big giant cobweb that I walked into. So that was cool.
So someone in the chat saying you're one of your doll's heads moved in the back. So I don't know.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you broke up.
I said someone in the chat was saying that one of the dolls behind you moved.
I was reading it said it moved. No, it
Oh,
said it moved. Her head moved slightly, it said.
no way.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a story on these. So we did just set up that light isn't working out as well as I wanted to. I did set up a little bit of a backdrop, for our podcast here today. But these actually, I usually have everything in the basement. I call them my antiquities because I like to go to. I like to branch out with my investigations, and I was like, you know what? I love antiquing. So
Yeah, I do too.
oh my God, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. And even before, the paranormal came into my life, and I'm like, I wonder. And the one time Charity and myself were at Wildwood Sanitarium, another one of my favorite locations. And there's a little scheduling mishap where another team had like a 5-hour thing. And like, we're like, yeah, okay, come on in. And then we're like, and then, I started feeling guilty for for having like that. So I'm like, well, I'm going to show her the antique mall in Salamanca. That's right here. It's huge. And we had, some of our equipment with us. So I'm like, let's go to the doll section and grab a recorder and see, what we can do. Again, not really thinking this was going to really produce any, results. And what our main thing that we do, that I don't know how, I just knew that I needed something. When we ask if anybody's there that wants to communicate, if we don't like have a specific spirit that we're talking to or know of anybody there, I'll ask for anyone to say the words peanut butter, hard consonants, two words. And one, you never forget it on your grocery list now if you say it enough. But it's very easy to hear, like with the hard, the p and the t and the b. It's easy to hear peanut butter. I have about probably 5,000 EVPs that say peanut butter. So lots of peanut buttery spirits running around out there. And when we heard that, so we went on a mission. We went, like, what color hair do you have? What dress are you wearing? We went through this process, and just at this point, we basically ignored the fact that we were in the general public. And the one that really, I think, defined it, and I was a little like apprehensive to ask Charity's like, how much do you cost? And I looked at her and I was like, I don't know if that's appropriate to ask. But we ended up finding, and she is actually she's actually kind of hard to see. I'm gonna have to actually grab her real quick to show you guys. It was this her name is Chelsea. And at the risk of sounding certifiable, but this is why I have a team, and my daughter has heard the things that I have heard. So if anyone tries to have me committed, I have people that will testify on my behalf. So, so we ended up finding Chelsea, and so at that point, we took her and walked to a different part of the mall, and to make sure that we were still hearing her. I mean, we took her in the car. We did AVPs in the car. We got back to Wildwood. We did AVPs with her at Wildwood. It was pretty incredible. And of course, I purchased her, so she's here with me now. So I'm not sure if that was whose head turned or
No,
if
it's all
not, but they've all come from the antique mall. So
Okay.
yeah, that was one of my my things I don't want to mention, because that was one of the coolest stories I think I've had with usually you go to these locations, but you can come across spirits and paranormal activity, and basically you can you can find a way to investigate anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, Coley? Thanks for tuning in. Go check out Coley Weber. She has a really good show, Marquise and Coley, her own podcast. I was a guest on them last night, as a matter of fact. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
so
Sandra. I'll have to know the name.
so yeah, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
so real quick, you sent me so much stuff. Like I said, I like to go over a few of these videos with you,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. So the first one I'm gonna play is the cat balls on the staircase. Okay,
Yep.
and you
Okay.
guys can talk about and tell her what's going on, and I think everybody will enjoy this video. You guys are on Spotify. You're listening. Go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah. Be careful. We'll try our best. Let's just get the rest of this recorders out. What do you got there?
Oh, just playing with the skateboard. Doing some tricks. Like Little Wayne.
Skateboard. No, he wants you to talk to her.
Yeah, I don't even know it had the capability of being a normal. You know what I mean? Well, wait till after. No, I've used it during the day though before my team.
It's showing the spectrum of everything.
Okay, here we go.
I might have
I love it.
That was one. That was
Crazy,
so
isn't it?
crazy. Yeah, how it wound up next to the other cat ball, and it actually rolls off that step. Uh,
Does. And
So that wasn't right at the edge either. That
no,
was halfway back.
that's why I left the footage of us walking down those stairs. We went up and down those stairs so many times.
yeah.
So this is a Dunkirk lighthouse in Dunkirk, New York. This is our first lighthouse. We were there about a month ago, and I loved it so much I went back the next day.
Yeah, I
um,
want to play it again for the folks real quick. I mean, you guys can keep talking
yeah,
over it.
yeah.
Be careful.
So just so people know
We'll try our
too,
best.
those
Let's
balls
get the
light
rest
up
of
only with motion if they're cat balls. So
Right.
even lighting up is
doing some tricks.
And you're
You can
stepping
see
right
me.
next to them. You're stepping right next to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I'm like you're literally next to it. Didn't touch it, didn't set it off, and then all of a sudden this happens after I go by.
I love how the second one lights up and then or when it lights up the second time, it falls right after that. Like they were trying and we were asking them, please push these down the stairs. That was our whole point of doing this.
See, this is it right here where you see it roll, and then it just falls.
I mean,
off.
and it's 2 steps too.
Yeah.
That's a big push right there.
And like I'm saying, you can actually when it starts to roll, and it wasn't like it was on the edge and it was teetering. You see it
Exactly.
roll. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Exactly. It was, and of course, none of us saw it, head on, but Mike did see the balls light up from the other room, and he was like, I think it's the cat ball. So I run out. If you'll see it on, I have this as a TikTok, right? Yeah. If you see it on our TikTok, I'm like, where? I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, we're going to start our investigation right here. Cause that was the second day. So for 2 days, I've been doing this, asking them. When I see carpeted stairs, I get excited because and also you're not on like a smooth surface. It takes effort, or a lot of energy or a lot of, juice, whatever is needed to actually be able to move something like that. And seeing them light up alone is fun, but seeing something like that without anybody even being around is incredible.
Seeing it roll was just amazing.
Yeah.
The most we've actually seen them move like that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of our favorites, and that's this lighthouse is that lighthouse is we got to go. But we're definitely planning on going back there before. There's seasonal, like being a lighthouse at the beach and all, but it's an incredible place. There's a lot to still discover there. So,
And
yeah,
the
it's one of our
next one is where the camera is facing that pool table. Where was that at?
that's Greystone Manor. That's the Victorian mansion. It's a bed and breakfast in Gasport, New York. That we've gone to. We have an event coming up there. Actually, that place is great. But that was a static camera in the basement.
Okay.
That was.
You want to tell people real quick about that video before I play it?
Yeah. So that we had. So that room is in the basement, and they have a pool table and like a jukebox. And the basement's very active. There's somebody that's not so happy down there, which I think if you have those EVPs, there's some of the vulgar ones come from down there, but. We had a static camera set up. I think we had the grid on,
Yep.
the grid light, in case anything breaks the beam. And so it was on a tripod, completely static, completely stable. And when you watch it, you'll see it shifts a little bit, I believe, to the left first, and then a big shift. And you also hear this like bang, this like thud, or so I mean, and there was nobody down there, nobody. When we investigate there, and that was just me and Mike.
Yep.
There at that time, and the owner is at there's the other complete part of the house is where they have where they live, and then so we have like complete reign over the other part of the mansion, which is completely empty. So there, there's like there's a couple cats, but unless a cat is picking up tripods, moving them, which I highly doubt it. That's a pretty great one as well.
Right, here we go.
So you hear that bang?
Yeah.
Then it moved a little.
Yeah.
And then you see it move a little more.
Yeah, it moves just a little bit, and then it moves.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. To move
See?
both directions like that, it's that's definitely
And
something.
no one was down there. Absolutely no one was down there. We were somewhere else in the house.
Yeah.
What was that bang?
You don't know.
And it sounds like it's behind the camera, doesn't it? Like from at least where you can tell with the audio, doesn't it? It sounds very close to the camera. And the funny,
then,
this is what you get when you, nobody enjoys, I'm sure, watching static camera footage for hours. But when you do, and you get something like this, then it's like, it's all worth it, you know? So that's that. I love finding stuff like that. We don't have a lot of visual, you know, evidence on there, or findings that we've captured, but the ones that we do are, you know, are pretty great. You know, we don't have.
You know what's funny is I have SD cards from, like, doing all my Bigfoot research, that I leave recorders out and I haven't never even listened to them.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I have about 9 2 terabyte external hard drives,
Yeah.
and when I was going through preparing for what to send you, I know I'm backed up. I did take a little bit of a break. We had an event that we attended.
I'm glad you didn't send me 2 terabytes worth of stuff.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
We could have sent you a lot more.
yeah. Oh, times 9, because I have 9 of them.
Yeah.
And so you know, and I'm making that we have a YouTube channel as well. So with the YouTube, we make the full videos of the investigations. And when I say we, I mean me, and not knocking anybody else on the team, but you know, I took media production classes in school. And I was like, well, I'm actually going to use this. And I wasn't going for, I was going for public relations and advertising, but I loved them. And I was like, well, this is fantastic because I can use them, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. You know, we all have our day jobs, and you know, some of us have children. So it's time consuming, but I did have to take a little break, and we had to do some events, and we have one coming up. And but now that the dust is settling, I'm going to get back to going on with the episodes, because we have so many places and investigations that we haven't even got to showcase. But that's why I like TikTok too, because you can just point out, like, when you find these you know, instances, you don't have to worry about making the whole episode for the investigation yet. So yeah, but it's definitely there's a lot in there. I was going through it. I was like, wow, we didn't go through any of this stuff. We could have a full body apparition doing the YMCA and have no idea right now.
I have no idea.
You know?
Right? Yeah. So this next one is the spirit box. It was you and Mike.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'll play it. If you guys want to talk during the thing and kind of point it out,
Okay.
what's going on, go ahead.
We just want to hear it. You know, everybody will hear it.
I'm Michael.
Mikey.
Hi, Michael.
You're Mikey.
Hey, Michael.
Can you repeat my name for me, please? Is your Stephanie?
Yes.
If there was one thing you wanted us to know right now or tonight, what would you like to tell us?
Stop what? What do you need to stop?
Lucky.
She says it every time.
You think I'm funny?
Not nice.
Anything you want to say before I shut this off for now? I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you.
Yeah.
Well,
And those
we're
are
not
very
scared of you
clear.
either, so we appreciate that.
I mean, you see, those are very clear.
So the thing,
dead bodies are is interesting.
so if you saw, I didn't react to that. We didn't react to that, but because this is more of like a real time EVP situation, or, you know, real time communication. But there are things that you definitely don't hear, and, you know, at that moment. But that's the spirit box connected to a portal, which amplifies it. You can, you know, try to take a little bit of noise out, more of like the sound, not too much. You don't want to take too much. You can put some reverb in there. I don't like to really play around with that. Honestly, I just like the amplification and taking a little bit more of like the sound out. But it is so difficult. And when I do it with the portal, I use the SB7 usually. I sweep it 150 milliseconds. And in reverse, which does not mean the words go in reverse, it means the channel station sweep, you know, reverse. A lot of people make that mistake or misconception, but it is very, very hard to get. So when you're listening to this, it literally sounds like or, you know, a little bit faster with 150 milliseconds. So you may be picking up bits and pieces of stations, like there was a time where Charity heard something about praise Jesus and she's like, that must be Catholic radio. But when it's sweeping like that and you have a full sentence like that with the same cadence, the same voice, I mean, there's dead bodies buried in graves, which is ironically, this is the Hinsdale house. There are bodies buried on that property where he's found with ground penetrating radar, and he's marked. So correlation. The direct responses too, like, do you think I'm funny? I don't think you're funny. I mean, that was a little,
Even our
a little
names,
rude, but I'll take it.
even our names. So when you say names, like, my name is Mike, but we say Mikey. And you heard Mikey
and
very
Steffi,
clear, and then
they know our nicknames. They listen.
It's really that really solidifies what you hear. That it wasn't a radio station.
No, there's no way. There's no way. I mean, when we first got this too, when we were baby investigators, I'm like, well, I've just bought a $600 speaker. This is great. And then I remember the first time I reviewed evidence, and this wasn't for a while because you really have to get in tune with listening to these things. It's almost like EVPs. Like there's people where I will be like, oh my God, you got to hear this. I'm like, I didn't hear anything. I'm like, you need a hearing aid. How did you not hear that? But then there's some that, I might not have heard before because you really have to get used to listening under the static. You have to get used to listening to like different pitches and tones. And I know some people can't hear certain, rock concerts, genetics. There might be reasons why you can't hear certain pitches and tones and, that kind of thing with EVPs. So with the spirit box, you really have to, for one, you have to get over the headaches you're going to get from hearing that sound. But then you have to know, like, to listen through and under and they're not always going to be that clear, but when they are, it's phenomenal. And when we found out that this actually works, it was like a aha moment. Like, this is awesome. Because everything that you do is basically testing it out. You don't know if it's going to work. You may see it on TV or someone may tell you it will, but you really have to test it out. And one of our favorite things is correlating evidence when something happens and something happens on another device and it paints a picture, because we like to, we started strictly scientific. We did, start not dabbling. We did get directed a little bit on the metaphysical side, and no, of course, even when we started scientific, we did not believe or not accept the metaphysical side, but we just that wasn't really our focus. But it led us there, and we got our feet wet there, I guess you could say, and went down, another tunnel of that rabbit hole. But the spirit box is really great. So that was one I wanted to show for an example of equipment, especially equipment that you don't really necessarily might think works, and then you find out how great it does, and it's fun.
Yeah, I've got the SB7 also, and we used it about a month ago, I guess. We went to this. It's here in Texas. It's called the Bolton House. It's a really cool place, man. If you guys are ever here in Texas, that's one of the spots.
We gotta go.
Yeah. Of course,
See you tomorrow.
Get some plane tickets.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, we're looking to branch out. We've been a lot of places in New York. We've gone to Ohio. Well, I mean, I've done some West Virginia, Berkeley Springs, and I went to Puerto Rico on vacation, investigated the forts, but that wasn't planned investigating. That was ad hoc investigating. But yeah, that'd be great.
Now this next one, it's at Wildwood. It's the one we're going to count. Yeah, and it's a little bit longer, guys. For you guys that are tuning in and listening and watching. But I think you guys are going to really like it. And like I said, you guys are welcome to talk over it and let everybody know what's going on. But I'm gonna play it.
This is one that I wasn't there, so she's gonna be.
Sweet Stephanie.
This is
Mary.
Hi.
She knows I'm sweet.
Don't want
Oh God.
Oh, hi. Mr. Joe, could you pause it for a second? Do you mind?
you to.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to give a little bit of real quick context before this, so everybody knows what's going on. We're doing the Estes method, and if you don't know what the Estes method is, it's just me and Julie Ramon. So the three of us there at this point. But this was this was a 48-hour investigation. I booked it for 2 days for my birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like, what do you want for your birthday? I want to investigate for 2 days straight. What do you think I want? So I was there with Charity the first day. She had to leave, and then Julie Ramone came for the second. So I was technically the only 48-hour investigator there. So I slept for maybe about 2 hours the first night. So full disclosure, I'm going on extended period of not sleeping. And also, so Charity was there, and Julie came. Ramon wasn't there yet, and we were getting some really negative responses in our EVP. Something about Charity is going to die, and she's about to leave and drive home in the snow. So, and then somebody just was not. So we don't do the whole, everything's anything's a demon. Honestly, we've not come across anything we would say is demonic or evil. We're not saying that doesn't exist, because I used to think you couldn't bring anything home with you. So I don't like to discount anything, but somebody was just being an asshole. We can swear in here, right?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. A lot of people, especially if you're an asshole in real life living life, and afterward you might not be so happy. You might you might just want to mess with somebody. I mean, if somebody's like, "What's your name?" and I'm like feeling froggy, I might be like, "Satan," But so we don't really know what was going on, but it gave everybody a little bit of like an anxious kind of feeling. And then when Ramon got there, we filled him in, and I'm sure I called his satanic panic, because after this, which I didn't include that clip, it is out there on either YouTube, not TikTok, it's on YouTube. I call it satanic panic because he definitely he freaked out a little bit. But so we're all on edge at this point. Charity left. It's Julie, Ramon. So we're doing the Estes method. That is where Ramon is same wall as the couch I'm laying on. I'm tired at this point. I'm having a paranormal hangover during the investigation, and because so much energy is utilized there, you start feeling so drained. I'm eating cookies. I'm literally eating cookies on the couch right now while I'm doing this, thinking, we're just going to have a Estes method, but we're doing it in the living room where the negative EVPs were said. So Ramon is over on the other couch. He's got the Vic Firth noise canceling headphones on, connected to the spirit box. So he's hearing, and blindfolded. He's hearing the sweeping stations and whatever comes through. So we are asking, we let the spirits know to speak to Ramon, get as close as you can to him. We're going to ask you questions, speak to him, because that should pick up your voice, and he's going to respond with what he hears in there from them. So it's a way to basically have like an unbiased, and when you're listening to the portal or the spirit box without this method, you might be looking for an answer and wanting to hear it, but we have no control over what Ramon is hearing. So when it correlates or it goes together or it does what it does in here,
this is what you'll see.
And this is what you're going to see. I just had to make sure everybody knew what this was, because we only had the one camera angle going here.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hurt.
Oh my God.
Mary
Fuck.
said,
Stop it. Shut up. No, not you, Mary.
Julie,
Mary, what's gonna happen?
talk to her.
I have talked to Stephanie.
I hear her.
This is not a game.
Okay.
Oh my God. I can't do this anymore.
Okay.
What's gonna happen?
I can only,
I can only, after you said I can hear it.
Okay.
I can only protect you for so long.
This is gonna be a joke. Is he really hearing that? Is he really hearing that? I mean, this is insane. Mary, what do you think you have to protect me from? Do you hear her?
Who are you?
She said go.
Oh my God, she's so loud, Julie, you don't hear that?
Please.
Mary, she's there. She's there, Julie. She's there.
I can't.
Julie is scared. She's like, I can't even look.
I heard something.
You heard it?
Mm-hmm.
She's like screaming to me.
No, over here.
No, I know. Back there?
Yeah.
That's where it's coming from. Julie, she's right there. I can almost see her. In the darkness right there.
I can see you.
Oh my God.
That's her. She said, yeah.
You don't have to be scared. I will show you.
What are you gonna show me? Do you want me to come over to you?
Now the brave little toaster.
I heard it.
You heard that?
Yeah. Something's moving.
I can't not go.
I can't not go. I love how I went from like terrified to like,
There's a
I'm
lot
gonna
there.
go walk over there and try to shake
Yeah,
your
and
hand.
that was so strange when you said I could see her, or what did you say?
In the darkness. Yeah, I said
Yeah,
I can almost see her because we're looking into this pitch black kitchen and I can almost see the outline of her. And then to hear him say, I can see you,
yeah,
I
that was like,
I almost need a new clean investigator pants. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I could see my eyes watering up. That was the one and only I did that. I was going to leave. I did take the one part in the beginning out where I actually said like my whole life of paranormal, like, or my whole time of doing this is the first time I'm effing scared. You know, I was a little sleep deprived, but it was just the anxiety level was heightened. And just it's the first time I heard what was being said before he was hearing it in the spirit box. That doesn't normally happen. And then like and I think you guys can hear it on there. I think a little bit of like her speaking, like it sounds like a whisper, and sometimes there's a little bit of cadence to it. But I watch that video every once in a while just to give myself a good chill because like it still gets me.
Yeah.
It was definitely my absolute all-time favorite SS method session. And that's another thing, like the SS method. I would stake like a small appendage, like, you know, a pinky toe at least, or, you know, a foot on the fact that like you try that SS method, you will get, you know, results and they will be real, you know, like you got to sometimes trust in it. But when you have something happen like that, there's no way you can, that's not happening. I mean, he can't hear, he can't see. Even when you try to tap him out, he still can't hear. So there's no way that, you know, there's anything but something paranormal happening there.
Exactly. Yeah. And Sally, she's one of my team members from the Woodline Paranormal. She says that's awesome footage.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Thank you, Sally.
I'm going to EVPs too because we're kind of running on them short on time. He says Charlotte says I could hear her too. She's one
I
of
was gonna try to bargain for a 2-hour episode. No, I'm just kidding.
That's Charlotte. She's my right hand man. Charlotte's the best. I'm gonna tell you right now. She's the best.
Okay, yes, definitely.
Let's see here. Let's see. We got to share screen share. Let's see.
Oh, good. Oh, Charlotte can hear her. That's awesome.
So, which one do I want to play? Let's play the St. John Cemetery. What is that one? That's it's the EVP says I can hear you, Ben.
Okay, yeah, they're all great from there. And the mausoleum ones are great as well.
Let's see if we can play that one. Let me know if you guys.
Scream your name so we can hear you. What your name is? Oh, the one started up right. Sorry. Hold. Actually, 1 second.
Oh, I think your volume's about halfway, Joe, on there, if I'm seeing that right. On the bottom there. Okay.
Okay, hold on. You said the volume button was low?
Yeah, I saw the volume bar on the bottom of your screen when you had it up there. It was about halfway. I think that's why it was a little bit quieter. Like on the bottom, in the middle of the bottom.
Let's see if we can get it playing again. Let's see. Let's see. It doesn't want to come up now. Hold on, folks. One more try here.
Yeah, while you're trying to pull that up, we have we didn't actually investigate cemeteries until about 1.5 years into doing this. We didn't start with cemeteries like a lot of teams do. We didn't think we'd find anything in cemeteries. We're like, everybody's at, I'd be in Tahiti I mean, I thought, at least. But God, I was surprised. And we were lucky enough to find a mausoleum that wasn't locked. And the Given family, it's a cemetery in Cheektowaga, New York. And I came there. I've been there, gosh, 20 something times. I would go and I would talk to them. I would bring them seashells and pebbles. I would clean it up for them. I would, ask them, things and play music they wanted to hear if I actually got the response right. They're the ones that told me to check the death census. I didn't know what that was. I found out. So I found like ancestry and ways to. That was the first time I've actually identified that I'm speaking to somebody that was once living. That was one of our big pivotal moments, because at first you're like, is this a voice? Is it an invisible person? Is it a plant talking to us? Is it an alien? So what I really want to do is tie it in with, this is somebody that was once living, because a lot of people say, how do you know who these voices are, what this is? And so to find this information out and to go and ask them and have them tell me what I have in front of me on a sheet that I printed out, and then to form this relationship with them and mutual respect. And, we both, I think, helped each other out. So.
You get it up, Joe?
Yeah, it's up. Let's get it playing. It's gonna be right at the end where you can you'll hear like a whisper. It says, "I can hear you, Ben."
Okay.
It'll be right after Steffi talks.
Just scream your name so we can hear you. What your name is? Oh, the one started up right. Sorry. Hold on. Actually, 1 second. Not all at once. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys could hear it. I turned the volume up.
Yeah, there's a couple with Ben, good old Ben. Or at least if that's what we think he's saying.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, those are ones were outside in St. John Cemetery, and then we also go to Temple Bethel Jewish Cemetery. There's I think a few different, like old, new. It's a huge cemetery. I mean, it is massive, but those are really good ones.
And I want to play the one that says, "I want you guys to help me." Where was that
Is
one?
Does it say on the? It should say right at the beginning.
Seymour Place.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's play
Seymour
that
Place
one.
is a good place.
Let's see if they hear it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was pretty clear, too.
It's pulling up. I don't know if people can hear that, but that was pretty clear too.
Yeah. We definitely get a lot of really clear EVPs, and there's all different types. We get some that are whispers. We get a lot of different some that kind of reverberate off of like outside noises, or depending on what kind of building you're in. And EVPs are very interesting. There's one I don't know. I don't know if you downloaded it. Did you download any Wildwood Sanitarium ones?
No, like I said, there were some that wouldn't download, and then some that just didn't sound good over the computer.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'll see if I can get a different format. Maybe I don't know if that was the issue, but
some of our pictures are pretty cool too. You get to check those out.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up some of those pictures.
Yeah. While you're doing that, what we do with pictures is we use a full spectrum camera with the infrared lighting, and we take burst. They're like GoPros. They're basically modified GoPros, but we do burst shots. So you're taking 3 pictures all within 1 second of a time. So you'd imagine that literally within 1 second of a time, that everything in one picture should be in all 3. So this has a series
of pictures.
Yeah, so there's a series of 3 with this, and the first one has nothing coming out of Mike's arm.
Yeah, I know what's coming out or going.
And now he's Zeus or something here. I mean, I again with the photos, we don't have a full body apparition or anything, but these are pictures where like we have absolutely no idea what these could be.
I remember that. I got a really cold chill. We remember talking because we have actually on video too. So we were watching. And I said, "Hey, it's getting cold outside." Everybody's looking because it's actually a decent night, and that picture came from that.
Yeah.
So it was pretty weird.
And
This is
there's one
another
set.
one that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a set of 3. If you have those 3, Joe, this is at that mausoleum where I was talking about the Given family. Is a wall. It's stained glass picture of
Stained
Jesus.
glass. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't really sure. And either way, and there's a wall, and it's 3 pictures, all in 1 second of a time. And the first picture has like that face is like on the Jesus face on the stained glass window. The second picture, it looks like a cow, like you'd see like at like a
No.
like a yeah. So this is the third one. This is, to me, it looks like a unicorn or a
Yeah.
horse, but.
Right.
And that's all within 1 second of time. So it traveled from, if you can see in that stained glass window, there was the face, there was the cow, and then the horse looking unicorn. And I mean, I don't know, that definitely can't be a bug.
Yeah.
If
No,
that's
it is
very
a bug.
inter-
Let me see if I can-
Right.
I've got it.
and then yeah, and then there's that jellyfish one there too.
And there's
Yeah, that's the unicorn or horse if you're, not me. But to see that it just traveled along like that and it changed shape, and to be such, identifiable images, it really blew our mind.
Something that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be there. You know.
That and that jellyfish. There was that big jellyfish that went across the bottom looking thing. I don't know. That was the other mausoleum one, but so those are the kind of pictures that that we get. Gotten. But
I
they're
just want
very
to say
interesting.
for people listening on Spotify, you guys might want to tune in to the YouTube this episode. But guys, man, we're up on our hour already. You guys did a great job. We probably could have gone 2 hours,
Oh, we could have. This is so much fun.
It's been great.
And you know what? We were kind of talking about that. We might have to have a part 2.
Yes.
And which I would love to do for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to send you anything.
I won't send any more, I promise.
Yeah. I got plenty of files, so. But no, it's all good, man. If you find anything, and like I say, you want to come back on the show, you're welcome to come back. I'll shoot some dates.
That'd be absolutely wonderful. We love your show. It's fantastic. We love listening to it. We loved being on it. It was great. You have a great audience too. We love the comments and hi to everybody that was watching, and thank you guys for your feedback.
Charlotte part 2 would be awesome.
Yes, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. We'll schedule it after.
What do you guys got coming up? Talk about what you got coming up.
Yes. So we're actually having our first event that we're hosting at Greystone Manor in Gasport, New York. If you go on our social media, on our Facebook, it's at Haunt This Investigations, and I can send it to you, Joe, if you want to put it in the description and everything too. So it's what do we call it?
24th.
A Summer Spirits, a guided paranormal investigation at Greystone Manor. So we're hosting that, and it's our event. So it's $40 a ticket. It's from 6:30 till midnight. It includes pizza, beverages like soda and water, full use of like all of our equipment. And we have over $10,000 worth of equipment because I have a bit of a problem. And we're also going to, we're split everybody up and let them, use the equipment, give them a brief history, a little bit of instruction, and then let them use the equipment and let them, experience it. Greystone is extremely highly active. They have this outside barn that they just tore down and did some like renovations too. And I mean, we were chasing things. We were like, you go that way, I'll go that way. The place is incredible. And, you can also, once you're there, Heather will allow anyone to, I think up to 12 people could stay the night. But if you want to spend $50 extra to Heather and to Greystone, you can actually stay the night. And, but it's going to be a really good time. It's our first time doing it. But one of the things that we really wanted to do was like, we're doing this to help people now. Like we started for different reasons, but whether it's locations, people that, want to know about the paranormal or are having issues with the paranormal, or spirits that, that needed at times. So that's going to be that's really exciting. That's the 24th of August. You can go on our Facebook, and the instructions are there to how to purchase the pass, I guess you could say,
pass tickets.
Yeah, and then send me an email so I can send you the more detailed information. But so we have that coming up, and then we're we're planning on going back to the lighthouse one more time this summer in Hinsdale. We haven't been there this summer yet. You know, a lot of the places that basically you don't want to go there in the middle of winter, but we have the event to get through, and then we're going to start booking some other investigations. We do at least one a month with the whole team, and then I do about 25 extra on the side. So it's exciting. You guys, and we also we didn't get to talk about this, but we have an email and we have a website. You can find the email through the website. It's hauntedusinvestigations.com. Really easy. And we also have on there, I believe we have the phone number. We're going to start doing residential investigations, which we haven't tapped into yet. But since we had some friends and family and willing participants to go ahead and do some, and we've been doing this for quite a while. We're going to start doing that as well. But if anybody wants to look at our website as well, or contact us through the email or through Facebook, you can find us that way as well.
Cool, man. And you guys have any last words of advice for anyone who wants to get into this field?
I was hoping you were going to ask that. So there's just a couple key things real quick. Definitely don't give up. Anybody can do this. Start with an audio recorder, and we have audio recorders that are, I have Zooms that are a few $100s, and just don't buy a DR60 for $5,000 off eBay, but anything else. And then I have an old Sony. I have Olympus. My go-to is like if they're $40 Olympus off Amazon. Just it takes time, patience. You might not get anything like you were saying.
Keep an open mind and start small.
Yeah, but and be respectful. Treat spirits like how you want to be treated, because they are people. They were people. They are still people. You have fun too. Definitely be professional at locations, and definitely residential. People's houses, but don't forget to be yourself and have fun. And we get some of the best responses sometimes and some of the best interactions because, these people, spirits, are seeing that you're people and they want to interact with you. And they there's really something to be said about raising your vibrations. It sounded corny to me at first, but it makes sense. We set up, and me and Charity sing Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know, while we're setting up. And we did that at Hinsdale, and we went live on their feed, and they're like, the spirits love your energy. And I'm like, I hope they didn't mind the song choice. But we get that energy going, have some fun, do your experiments, but just don't forget to build, take some time, ask unorthodox questions, form these relationships, even if they're not, they're quick forming, but, just interact with these people like you're trying to make a friend, and be respectful, and do not, nothing, and everything isn't a demon, or demonic. I don't know if anything is, just don't jump on that bandwagon, but, and just don't think everything is paranormal. Take your time, rule it out, all other reasons or, scientific or explanations first. But yeah, just have fun. And if you're interested, and if there's anybody out there that's like me, that was lying in bed at night, overthinking things like I do, going, oh gosh, it's going to be nothing. This is it. And you were looking for, that peace. I found it and then some. So, and anyone needs any tips or, any advice on equipment, on anything, we are always here and I'll always respond. This paranormal community is great for the most part, but there's a lot of things we've heard and seen where people aren't as open. Like I said, we're here to help everybody. That's everybody, right. So we're definitely open to questions and any advice we can give. Cool. Mike, anything you want to add there?
I'm very simple, open mind. I think it's the biggest thing because we watch so much TV, we see so many things, and we listen. Right. Just honestly, walk in and keep an open mind. Ask the questions that you want and listen. Sometimes asking too many questions and not sitting enough time to listen.
Oh yeah, give at least
you have to just listen.
At least 13 seconds in between. Okay.
And don't interrupt. And no.
And don't overthink it.
And keep it small. The best things are EVPs. They're recorders.
Oh, they're my favorite. Yeah.
And they're the least expensive. You know what I mean? You start that way and see if you like it at first. That's
all.
And have a group that actually you can have fun with.
And you can trust.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you know what? I am not afraid of anything paranormal. I'm afraid of people and I'm afraid of animals, when we go into the woods and stuff. So beware of people and
I was going
animals.
back to Bigfooting, but I guess not now.
You're Bigfoot.
Mr. Scott.
Cool. But like I tell you guys, man, you guys ever come down this way, let me know. There's quite a few
Yes.
locations we can take you to. I'll take you to the
We-
San Luis Forest right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, and we'll go find Bigfoot with you guys.
I would love to because I am so interested. I mean, I don't know much. I've heard things, from time to time. But I'm very, very, very interested. It's so compelling because there's so much, accounts of it. Like, I mean, again, I don't. So we would love to. And if you're ever in Buffalo or New York or any of the surrounding areas too, we're definitely going to meet up. But we are looking to branch out. And Texas sounds fantastic, especially when it starts getting cold in about a month in Buffalo.
And don't forget to give me your links, whatever. I'll add them in the description. And
Perfect.
anything you guys ever want me to promote for you guys, hit me up and I'll promote for you guys.
Awesome.
I have no problem
Thank
doing
you
that.
so much. Thank you so much, Joe. This has been such a blast and such a pleasure. Your show is fantastic, and I can thank you.
Appreciate it. I just try to make it just like a couple of people talking. That's all.
You got it down.
Everyone in the chat, thanks a lot for your participation. You always
Yes.
do such a great job. This is my mom. Say hi to my mom. She says hi.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Awesome. I wish my mom was watching right now. That's awesome. Thank you.
She watches all the time too. But yeah, everyone else, I'll see you next Monday. I don't know who I have on. I never know who I have on. So I'll see you guys next Monday. You two guys hold on real quick, and we will see you guys later. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
All right, hold on, guys.